Name your price.
It's like it's like it's like a whole lot of belly buttons.
The views expressed on this podcast do not necessarily reflect the opinions of everyone who might look, think, or move like the people on this podcast. These are strictly personal takes and should be received as such. If any topic discussed here feels too offensive to bear, please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. After all, opinions are like assholes and belly buttons. Almost everyone has one.
We are here. We are current. Welcome to the IMO show. I am King Six, and these are my opinions. All right. First thing, I want to acknowledge our sponsor, the King Six Ensemble, which is a brand that crafts luxury goods specifically to celebrate some of the world's most ambitious people. Last but definitely not least, I need you to like, I need you to subscribe, and get in those comments below. Let's connect. Doing those three things will ensure this content reaches the people that is intended to reach. And while you're at it, go ahead and tap that bell notification. You'll learn really quickly that we don't have a set schedule here. So if being first is important to you, you want to get that content first, I suggest you tap that bell notification. All right. Now let's get into these belly buttons. Five gorillas versus one man. A story by Rodney Hinton Jr. Look, this is a crazy story out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Happened about 2 weeks ago. In fact, I think I was actually in Ohio when this transpired. But it's a lot. So let's get right into this report. I think it's Tupac nephew is doing this. We're gonna check it out anyway.
Here's alleged action. Here today, a homicide detective shared a new detailed timeline of Rodney Hinton Jr.'s alleged actions before crashing into Deputy Henderson. WCPO 9 News reporter Jay Shakur walks us through it.
Jay Shakur.
Here's what we know right now about Rodney Hinton Jr.'s movements on Friday. A Cincinnati police detective said on May 2nd, shortly after 9:30 that morning, Rodney Hinton Jr., along with family, viewed body camera footage of a Cincinnati police officer shooting and killing his 18-year-old son, Ryan Hinton, the day before. Police say officers found Ryan and three other young men in a stolen Kia. When police arrived, the four men ran. Police ran after them, and officers say Ryan had a gun, and it was pointed toward an officer who shot him twice, killing him. The footage, which is a bit blurry at times, shows the shooting and Ryan falling to the ground. Police then say after reviewing that body cam video shortly after 10:30 a.m., Rodney leaves Cincinnati Police's Criminal Investigations Sections Unit's parking lot. Police say he left this first time upset and unable to drive. Family members describe him as agitated. Witnesses tell police he went to a couple of different locations, then returned to the parking lot around 12:40 p.m. They say Hinton came back to pick up a car left behind, and then for a second time,
he actually left the parking lot, followed by some family members, and then a few minutes later returned to the parking lot at CIS, drove through the parking lot, and then left the parking lot again.
Now, authorities say that final exit occurred at 12:49 p.m. Just 11 minutes later, police say Hinton plowed right into Henderson, who was operating a traffic light at the intersection of Martin Luther King Drive and Burnett Woods. A detective on this case claims video footage shows Hinton first stopping in a left turn lane before increasing the car's speed.
The vehicle accelerated quickly directly at where Deputy Henderson was standing.
Cincinnati police have not yet identified that officer who shot and killed Hinton's son. Prosecutors say they believe that Rodney Hinton Jr. just, quote, ran over the first officer he saw. Jay Shakur, WCPO 9.
Woo! All right, that's a lot. Look, one thing about this channel, I am here to share my opinions, my belly buttons, I like to call them, because everybody got them. Entertain you guys, inspire you, motivate you, make you laugh. But whenever there's a story that I report and there is loss of life, I'm always going to extend my condolences. I'm going to do the same here to all parties that's involved. Ryan Hinton is Rodney Hinton Jr.'s son. He lost his life tragically in that pursuit from the police. And then, of course, Sheriff Deputy Larry Henderson, and I believe the way they're reporting is in retaliation from the loss of life from Ryan Hinton at the hands of Rodney Hinton Jr. Boom, he lost his life. So my sincerest condolences to those loved ones that are involved in this situation. Now let's before we dive in this, I'm gonna watch. Let's get another video going right quick. Let's watch Mr. Hinton Jr. Rodney Hinton Jr. leaving the courtroom.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at me. Okay. All right. Okay. I think we all felt that energy. This video was actually the first video I saw of this entire incident. I seen the I heard a little bit of the commentary, but I didn't have the full information or what was being presented to the public at the time. All I saw and heard of was a son being unalived by police force, a father being enraged and unaliving an officer. I didn't know which officer, didn't know anything. And then this guy, this is what I see. So with that little information that I saw on someone's Facebook page, I should say, I think we all shared the same thing. I think we saw in that courtroom, we saw the police and the presence there, there in their solidarity. Some looked at it as if they were intimidating or trying to show intimidation to Rodney Hinton Jr. But then we see Rodney come through with this strength, with this boldness, with this tenacity, looking his people, his oppressor right in the eye. And I think that did something to us. I think it did something to those of us who witnessed the Trayvon Martins, the Breonna Taylors, the Tamir Rices, the Botham Jeans, the Sonya Masseys. That did something to us. That was like, hey, you know what? I told y'all we weren't finna stand for this that long, any much longer. This is us. This is our get back. We felt that, and I can go on and on with the names of injustices that we've experienced as a people, which I'm assuming fueled the way that our thought process first received that first visual. But I will say, because of those feelings, I think, and after the information has come out, it was a false sense of revenge. And if I'm being honest, I think it was pretty disgustingly satisfying. It's like a disgusting way of get back. And I saw a large group of people that looked like me. After this is as the information was starting to matriculate, I saw them celebrate the death of Deputy Larry Henderson. I saw them use analogies like, you know, this is get back. We weren't finna do all this, or here's the one, an eye for an eye, or he fit the description. You know, we kind of making jokes. Well, he fit the description like they do us. Those were the type of the comments that we were getting. But you know what? Let's review this again. Let's review this again. And before I get into that, I'm gonna put a disclaimer out about the media, right? I think I know we're in a place in 2025 where we don't trust the media. Hell, we barely trust the government. And that's the minority, the majority. The American culture, we barely trust our own government, right? So the media, we know that they can put out information and twist it in a way that really sways your opinion, your perspective on things. You have to be very careful when you listen to the information. And even sometimes the information they receive from supposedly responsible agencies like police agencies, authority figures, they feed them bullshit information. So they have no choice but to spread that news to us. So I want to put that disclaimer out there before I go into these details. We finna go over this again. All right. If all the information that we received from that news channel or from the news outlets are indeed true, all right, here's what we know. It was a stolen car. It was four black kids in the car. I'm gonna say 4 black kids at 18. I'm assuming they all around that age, but 4 black males in the car. Ryan Hinton, 18. All right. There's a semi-automatic weapon involved with an extended clip. The police found that later, right? They showed us that on the news report. The police lied. All right. We know that at this point, the information that we have is that Ryan Hinton and that crew did flee. All right. They fled in the vehicle. They got out of the vehicle, got on foot. Ryan Hinton dove behind a trash can, fell behind the trash can. The officer says he heard metal hit the ground. I'm assuming that's the gun that they found later. Just gonna assume. That's all I can do right now. And after that, Ryan again tried to run. And this is when the police lied. For what reason, I do not know. But he tells and says that, hey, he pointed at me. He pointed something at me. The body cam clearly shows he didn't. Despite that, everything that happened, he unloads. Pop, 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 pop. Do his thing. All right. So the following day, the news breaks to the family. The family is called in. They demand to see the body cam. After the reports, after the police officer reported that Ryan Hinton raised his hands or pointed something at him, they see that it's not what happened. They see that the police officer immediately shoots Ryan Hinton, unaliving him right then and there. Because of that, Rodney Hinton Jr., I'm sure, emotionally distraught, just lost your seed. You're seeing this for the first time. He loses it. He leaves the station where they're reviewing the body cam, hops in the car, comes back, hops in the car again, takes off, and the first police officer he sees, a police officer that had nothing to do with the unaliving of his son, and he runs him over with a car. Unalives an innocent man, a husband, a father of 5, a grandfather of 4, and also a family that just opened their home in 2024 to foster care. After all this information has been released, we still have a group of people who are willing to champion Rodney Hinton Jr. as a hero. I've seen Facebook posts that says, "This is my hero." I've seen people cheer and like, I told you, this get back. What did I say earlier? Oh, it may not have been the right police officer, but hey, they all fit the description. A bunch of rage and anger and hate that has accumulated from the past egregiouses that have been committed against us. What I saw is that we reacted through our past traumas. Hurt people hurt people. It's been going on since the beginning of time. Check out this video right here.
I want to give a condolence out to the officers that got killed, my whole family. I'm asking for forgiveness, and I've been praying hard for the officer that killed my grandson. I've been praying hard for him and his family because I know he's hurting off this. As I seen in the video about my grandson, I seen 2 scared people. I seen the officer scared, and I seen my grandson scared. So it's an unfortunate incident that happened. So that's all I seen. It was like, I didn't see the police there trying to kill. No. What I seen was 2 persons made a mistake. My grandson made a mistake being there, and the officer, he was trying to get back to his family too. So that's what I seen. So it's not about revenge or anything. I had nothing against nobody. You know, my Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ.
So who we just heard speak was Rodney Hinton Sr. This is the father of Rodney Hinton Jr. Watching that video, you could feel the pain that he's going through. But what I also saw was somebody who was emotionally enough, mature enough to lead his family through this time of grief. Hey, I know we hurting, but this is what I saw. It was a mistake. All right. He's telling his family that, the ones that are closest to this situation. You know what I can't stand about humans? We'll latch on to damn near everything but common sense when it comes to admitting that we're wrong. I mean, have y'all been keeping up with the Tory Lane situation? Some of y'all are disgusting. And that's a whole nother situation, a whole nother video for another day. But I welcome you to leave your belly buttons in the comments below. I mean, we will believe anything as long as it supports our original argument. Check this out.
Y'all know the little 18-year-old black boy that got killed by the police, Rodney Hinton Jr., where his father went to avenge him? So 2 things have come out about that case. The first is that the police did not even, they didn't even wait. The moment the cop showed up, the first thing he did was unload. And then, after he had shot the kid, then he yelled, "Get down." And the second thing that we do have from that is, he didn't steal the car. He missed a car payment. And the car company, the mortgage, whoever the fuck it is that he was paying the mortgage to or car payments to, reported the car stolen. Yeah, you heard that. He missed a car payment and they reported it stolen. So when he was going to his car that he bought, that he believes is his own, a white police officer came and killed him. And now they're all this Neanderthal Caucasians in my fucking comments talking about he was a thief. He wasn't a thief, but one thing is clear. And I'm saying this, NYPD, you can come find me, I don't give a fuck. One thing is clear, we're done. It's an eye for an eye from here on out. Simple as that. An eye for an eye. If y'all come for me, y'all better make sure I never, ever come back out. Because if I do, I'm coming for your families.
See, this is how misinformation works. People will start off with the truth, some facts in there that actually happened, and then they'll start sprinkling on the bullshit. Yes, when he got there, he did unload. Was it as soon as he got out? Was it as soon as he got there? No, Ryan Hinton Jr., Ryan Hinton got out of the car, got behind the trash can. He heard the gun or heard the metal hit the ground. Then he unloaded. That happened. Okay, close enough to the truth where you can say, okay. But then this part about a missing car payment and the car wasn't stolen, use your mind, your common sense. This guy's gonna have us going to war. And it's not just him. I'm not blaming it just on him, but it's a lot of people that's spreading this stuff around. Look, I worked in the car industry in the past for a dealership. I've also owned a rental car business. There's certain things that I learned. There's certain things that I know. One thing for sure is that if you have an agreement with a financial company over a car, it's damn near illegal for them to report their car stolen. They can get in trouble if they do that. The agreements that you sign protect you from that. They protect you from criminal violations if you happen to fall behind on your payment or late, or God forbid the car has to be repoed. And banks don't even repo cars to the 3rd and 4th month anyway. So he's saying the fact that he was behind one payment, now the car was missing or the car was reported stolen, is bullshit. We got to be able to read through that, all right, and not fall into those traps. Another thing that I do know is that when it comes to stolen vehicles, they are treated differently. I had a situation one time where a client stayed in one of my cars too long. They rented a car, they did not return it. They were not being cooperative in returning. I said, hey, I need my car back. I'm going to have it reported stolen. I did that. You know what the officers told me? They said, sir, I want you to know that if you report this car stolen and our officers pursue this car, there will be guns drawn. We treat those situations differently. So there is a different protocol for stolen vehicles. It just is what it is. Let's look at another video.
I don't know. This young man didn't steal that car. The man missed a car payment, my God.
Go somebody else.
What the fuck?
Bit the bait.
If we coming to America. And the police is trying to justify themselves. Y'all standing all in court with your arms folded, mad, and everything.
And I think dude kind of funny too, but still
still
alive.
Because he missed a car payment, bro. God damn. So you telling me if I don't pay my goddamn water bill, if the police gonna come kill me? If somehow these lights get cut off and I figure out how to cut them back on, will y'all unalive me?
I think he trying to be funny, but
this probably the worst shit I done
still
heard in my
misinformation.
whole goddamn life right here, y'all. I really hope this ain't serious, because this really shows the state that America is in, bro. We fucked up. So y'all mean to tell me, man, the man missed the car payment. The car lot report
Yeah, he is kind of funny. But look, this is the type of shit that's going to have us going to a war that we really ain't ready for. Well, what do you mean by that, Six? What do you mean we ain't ready for war? This is what I mean. I mean 5 gorillas versus one man. Those are the numbers. The majority and the minority. For every one black person, as of 2020 in America, there are 4.8 white people. Those are the facts. I looked it up, Googled it. All right. Now by 2045, it is predicted, just a prediction, that the percentage of whites will reduce from 75% down to 50%. Maybe that's a fear. Maybe that's the reason why a lot of this stuff is going on. Just throwing it out there. But look, we're in 2025. And what I mean by 5 gorillas versus one man, well, what makes them a gorilla? What makes them the 8-10 times stronger than a man, as we've seen some of the examples that's been going on with the 100-man versus one gorilla scenario? I'm talking about the strength that they have doesn't come from just numbers and outnumbering us. They also have the judicial system. They also have the media. They also have firepower, the military. Like, these are things that they have at their disposal. That, are we really ready to go up against that? Think about it. We buck the system right now, right, over this situation, over this particular situation, this isolated event. We buck the system. They call for martial law. Now what you got? You got a military with people that look just like you that's on you. Make it make sense. How do we beat that? How do we go against that type of system? Meanwhile, we struggle to support our own small businesses. So based off Rodney Hinton's actions, we have a lot of people running around here thinking that we ready for war. And I mean we, they're including everybody. Oh, we've had enough. We're tired. Look, what happened in Cincinnati, Ohio was an isolated event. And I'm almost certain when this smoke clears that Mr. Rodney Hinton Jr. is probably going to have a different tone about this. I mean, like, he's going to understand that he probably was acting in rage. Hopefully this is what happened. I'm hoping there's going to be some remorse there, because that's going to mean a lot. Because let me tell you something about Ohio. They still got the death penalty. It may not be active right now because they're trying to find a more humane way than lethal injection, but they still got it. And I can guarantee you the score that y'all keeping is, in this situation, is going to be 2-1. I'm going to let you figure that out. But that's what's going to happen in this situation. And then what? Look, I understand we're tired, we're frustrated, and at this point, some of us are just looking for a reason to lose it. But I'm going to tell you right now, this one ain't it. Like, this one ain't it. And it's not a Malcolm X or Martin Luther King philosophy debate. It's honestly about working smarter and not working harder in this war that's been going on for centuries now. Here's a great example of working smarter. Judge Angela Tucker. Who is Judge Angela Tucker? She is the judge that's presiding over the Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony case in Texas. Somewhere years ago, Judge Angela Tucker decided that she was going to enter a career that will put her in a position to have some type of authority or power over situations just like the one that presented itself in Texas. She made the decision to go to school for all those years, to finish college, to finish law school, to become a lawyer, become a judge, and put herself in that position to where she could make a change. That right there is called infiltration. And I know from my short time here on this earth, there are going to be 3 things that we need to do in our actions to working smarter and improving our situation. The first is unity. We got to unify. We got to figure out a way to love on each other more and come together and stand on something together. There's strength. We know there's strength in unity. I can't even talk about this conversation without mentioning the hurt and harm that we do to each other. Like, we got kids out here with switches, extendos, and we get it. I get it. We were programmed to be at war with one another. I'm gonna tell you a story. I remember when I was When I was younger, when I was like, what, 11, 12, when I knew I had to start learning how to fight, because I'm from a small town across Arkansas. You know, we Southeast Arkansas, that's what we did. We fought down there at that time. And I knew at some point I was gonna have to fight. I knew I was gonna have my share of fights. And I seen my older cousins fight. And so I learned a little bit from them. And then I had to start practicing myself how to fight. Throwing blows in the bathtub, or in the bathroom before I, put my clothes on. I'm working on myself. And the person that I visualized me fighting was one of my older friends named Prentice Thompson. Prentice, we ain't never had no problem in my life. But what I knew about Prentice is he could fight. In my eyes, I felt like he could fight. He was about my size. So like, okay, I got to learn how to fight somebody like that if I'm going to be successful in fighting. The purpose of me telling you that is that I was training myself to fight somebody that looked like me. When I started dealing with like weapons, right? I programmed my mind that if I had to use those weapons, the person I was using them on looked like me. Why is that? And I would love to hear your comments, your belly buttons, your opinions below on what are some ways that we can deprogram ourselves from harming one another. How can we unify? How can we create unity? Unity is one of those things that we need. Another thing that we're going to need in this fight, in this journey, is allies. I know I said earlier those numbers was 5-1, but it's 2025. A lot of those people, I'm not gonna say all of them, but a good deal of them are kind of like, you know what? I see this. I see what y'all are going through. Let me help you. We can't be so quick to throw the baby out with the bathwater. All people who don't look like us are not against us. We can't go out here starting these wars, these racial wars, we can't do that and throw everybody in the same category. Do you know that's the same thing? That's prejudice. That's the same thing that, like, we can't look at one person because they look like this. We assume they act like this. We have to learn to identify, because we do have to identify. We just can't let everybody in. Okay, everybody can't come to the barbecue, but we gotta be able to understand who's with us and who's not. And then the ones that's with us, let's bring them in. Let's make them a part of the plan. Let's not ostracize them and make them feel and turn out make them, oh, I see why they like that, because of our actions. We better than that. Another thing that we got to do is infiltrate. That's Judge Angela Tucker. Perfect example. We got to pour into our youth, pour into our kids, and let them know that being a judge is important. Being a lawyer is important. Being a congressman, a state representative, running for office, running for sheriff, being the police ain't bad. Like, let's get into these systems. I salute all my brothers out there that's serving on the police force. I'm not one of those people that hate the police. Sorry. I may need them. I ain't dumb. Look, I done been to jail probably 11 times. Well, I know I have. I know I've been arrested 11 times. A judge told me that one time. Do you know I've never had a problem with a police officer? And now that I think about it, I always did whatever they said I was doing. So I ain't have no reason to have a problem with it. But at the same time, I never ran into, out of all the trouble that I've been into, I've just never had a real problem with the police officer. I say that to say this, like, let's get our kids into those programs. Let's get them into those careers that where eventually they can make and be a part of this change that we so desperately need. Because the other way, the harder way, is going up guns a blazing. Now, I ain't soft. So if it came down to that and it made sense, this case doesn't make, I wouldn't go to war behind this. I'm not going to war behind this. I'm down. I go if it makes sense. But if there's no other alternative, but right now we have our minds. We have a way to keep improving what's going on. We have to become and we have to remain emotionally stable and realize and recognize the bullshit from what's really going on. And in this Rodney Hinton case, Rodney Hinton Jr. case, I mean, it's bullshit. It was a coward move, and I have a strong feeling in my heart that eventually he's gonna come out and be like, hey, you know what? I was wrong. So if you think I'm wrong, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know where I'm wrong. If you think I missed some information, or if I'm missing some information, help correct me. Because right now, this is what I'm standing on. I have a moral compass, and I implore you to use your moral compass, especially in situations like this, because these are matters of the heart. You pick the wrong side of something like this, it can get ugly real quick for you. Again, my condolences to all parties involved, to the Hinton family. I know y'all going through it over there. Prayers and condolences, despite my opinions, because opinions are like belly buttons and assholes. Everybody got them, you know? So I say that all the time. But still, my condolences to Deputy Larry Henderson, who had nothing to do with this. And my sympathy and prayers go to his family as well. Now, again, you know, on this channel, I love to motivate you, inspire you, make you laugh. I know this wasn't the most laughable subject matter, but it was definitely necessary. But here go the motivational piece. You know what? How can I put this? I know how to do it. Talk to you nice. That's my message. That's my motivation message. Talk to yourself nice. I'm in the gym this past week, and I'm in one of those modes where I'm listening to motivational speeches through my headphones. I'm getting into my workout, and I start to think about this 6-month plan I'm working on, and it coming into fruition. And I'm like, yeah, I can't wait till my haters see this. I can't wait to prove my doubters wrong. Yeah, and I started getting into it. I got aggressive, and before I knew it, I'm like, fuck them, fuck my haters. And then it dawned on me that I'm really talking to myself. Like, and it's ironic because I'm looking in the mirror as I'm processing all this, and before I knew it, I was like, no, it ain't him, it's me. And it's because I'm my biggest hater. I've been the one who's been holding myself back, selling myself short, thinking that I'm not good enough in this area, or maybe I didn't do enough in this area, maybe I don't deserve this. A lot of times you are your biggest hater, and it's natural. I'm not saying it's okay, but it's natural. We just have to train ourselves, train that little voice in our head to act right. If we're being honest, the only time we really get upset if someone's saying something negative about us, and we don't really know for sure if that's true or not. Like, for instance, if I got up this morning and walked out the house and then brushed my teeth, and somebody like, your breath stink, I might get a little mad because I forgot to brush my teeth. Do my breath stink? Probably do. Like, you may get a little upset or something like that. It may not be the best example, but if I knew I had brushed my teeth, I knew I had flossed, I knew I did my routine, and they say my breath stink, okay. I know I'm straight. The only time we really get upset when someone says something negative about us is if we're on the fence or not, if that what they said is actually true. Like, am I lacking? Am I really not good enough? Like, and this thing builds up in us, right? Like, imagine saying that to yourself. But when we're completely confident in whatever it is we're doing, we know we're excellent at it, we know we worked on it, we put in the work, those little comments don't bother us. So my challenge to you is to start training that little voice in your head to speak to you, to the future you, to the person that is chasing those goals and aspirations. That little voice in your head needs to be speaking more so that, not speaking to a person that's experienced those failures and shortcomings in the past. Speak to you nice. And remember, confidence is the most valuable currency that you'll ever own. Hustle for that. Until next time.